Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zilla, and it is foggy, and it is warm, relatively warm outside. But you're not here for a weather report, you're here for a tank video. So it was, again, requested that I do a light tank. And this light tank is the M22 Locust, a Tier 3 American premium tank. The M22 Locust was produced, but it was never used by the United States Army. It was designed to be an air-portable tank for use with airborne forces. They were given to the British, and the British did use them on the Rhine crossing. And the British adaptation to this was they put an adapter at the end of this 37mm gun, which by the time this saw service with the British Army, the 37mm was far obsolete. You talk about a 37mm going up against a Panther or a Tiger, you might as well be shooting a slingshot at it. And you'd probably be more effective with the slingshot. But they put this adapter at the end called the Little John adapter that made this a squeeze gun and vastly improved the velocity of the rounds coming out of the 37. So, lag providing, we're going to see what we can do on this today. As far as the tank itself goes in the game, it is extremely fast and zippy. That's its only defense. It's somewhat stealthy, okay? Its spotting is not that great. It's not bad. It's so squishy, and it really doesn't pack any punch. So this is a true scouting tank. So we're going to see what we can do in a random battle. And, yeah. Alright, let's go and see what we got. Alright, Serene Coast. You've seen this map before if you watched my T-34 video. Heavy tanks generally go this way. Light tanks scout up the middle and up on the hill. Medium tanks fight over the hill. Tank destroyers set up wherever they can get good shots in. However, at lower tiers, generally players don't go the way you expect them to go. So you might be surprised as to what happens to players and where they go. We've got two small artillery pieces on each side. Both can be very dangerous. That Vespa has a 105mm gun, and the Bison has a 150mm gun. So that's some pretty big heavy firepower for these little tanks. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go on up the hill and we're going to spot from there. Because this tank is so zippy and because it has such good concealment and decent spotting, I'm going to use that and get up on this hill and try and provide some targets for our artillery. But as a scout tank, sometimes, like especially in the higher tiers, you don't want to rush out there right away and then expect your artillery to be on top of it. It takes a while for them to load the gun. Yeah, so I'm parking right back here. I'm going to poke up a little bit, see what we can see. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. And be very careful. Hunting rabbits. And I'm going to get in this dead ground. You see this little gully? That's called dead ground. It's dead ground because you can't shoot out of it, but at the same time the enemy can't shoot into it. Okay, you saw me. I don't have 6 cents on this tank. I'm going to get in this dead ground. I'm going to use it to peek and poke at the enemy. Artillery can get pretty hyper about getting rid of you because you are a very big threat to them.
One of our tracks is damaged.
And he's firing high explosive. Firing high explosive out of a T2 medium.
Ready to fire.
That T2 medium doesn't have any better armor than I have.
Permission to engage. Target unlocked.
Okay, looks like our T-29 is out in front. So I'm going to get out of here because artillery has got a Jones for me. And I'm going to get over here behind these rocks and use the cover and use the terrain to mask my movement. That is a Matilda. I cannot penetrate a Matilda.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
Okay, so ran smack dab into a Matilda. Let's take a look at what other tanks are doing. M3 Lee. Sitting back at her base. M3's not. It's a bad tank. Let's be honest. But it's not as bad as it could be. You do have a 75mm gun in the hull. You got to play this tank like a tank destroyer. But you can't go hull down. And you've got that big Wapajop Cupola on top with the 37mm gun that doesn't work. So, you know, just play it like a TD. And this player clearly is not playing it like a TD. So let's go to somebody else. Ah, Matilda, Queen of the Battlefield. To be honest, it looks like we got this. Matilda is set up in sniper mode. And she's a big heavy tank. I understand why she's not going down there, but why not? There's nothing down there really that can hurt her except for artillery. So we got an M5 Stuart. I believe this is the Chinese version. Yeah, that didn't work out for me. Okay, let's go back to our intrepid M3 Lee. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, please explain what the heck this guy is doing, because he's certainly not supporting the team. He's got that 75 that can rule over everything on the field. He just hit a target there. He probably outscored me, but I've never seen an M3 Lee on this map do this. Ever. So let's go to something else. Our Matilda got her brave pants on, and she's coming down here. Our artillery bit the farm, but she's going up against another Matilda that is hurt. This is going to be funny because the Matilda's gun can't penetrate the Matilda's hull. It's got a 40mm gun. The British called it a 2-pounder. So you've got a 2-pounder gun going against the hull that it knows it can't penetrate. Anybody that's driven a Matilda knows you can't penetrate a Matilda from the front with their own gun. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, she got a flank shot in there, and artillery came to help. So that was smart. That was smart. Matilda is very slow, very heavily armored. For its time, it was one of the most heavily armored tanks in the world. But its gun couldn't penetrate it. You know, the 40mm gun just wasn't cutting it. The Germans used 88s to take out Matildas, and they did so rather easily. But the 40mm anti-tank gun, the 2-pounder, was useful all the way up toward the end of World War II. It was just a good anti-tank gun. It was clearly outclassed by 1942, but you know, it was very useful. And this tank is so painfully slow. It really is. Okay, that is an infantry Kanon 72. That is a Swiss vehicle. Swedish vehicle. Interesting thing about the Swedish vehicles is they used the Panzer 38T chassis long after World War II. and continue to use it to this very day for their infantry carriers, their PCs. If it's not broken, don't fix it. So the Matilda's going for the cap. And it looks like our Panzer IIIe is going for their RE, and that will be the end of the match. So, the M22 Locust, very, very squishy little tank, good scouting tank, don't run into a Matilda. Because anything with a decent gun is going to take you out in a minute. So, with that, I'm going to leave you alone. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Be good to each other, and God bless.